Interesting facts about the Roman Empire. Roman Empire excites the minds of contemporaries from the moment of finding objective, according to historians, sources. Today we will look at the official versions of interesting facts about the Roman Empire. Achievements of Roman architecture for a long time served Europeans as houses and a source of pride. To build the following stone buildings on several floors, European civilization succeeded only in the 10th, 11th centuries. What happened after the collapse of the Roman Empire in the 6th century? Many of them were disassembled into stones, and some stand to this day. The philosophers of the Roman Empire laid the foundation for the disciplines that now form the basis of modern science. Medicine, geometry, the basics of physics, including the first knowledge of the atom, the first descriptions of biological species, geographical maps, and much more were compiled by Roman philosophers. However, the ancient Greeks also played a small role in this process, therefore this merit can be divided in half between them. But do not forget that during the Roman Empire, Greece was considered a Roman province. The works of Greek philosophers were written or translated into Latin and were stored in the libraries of Rome. It is worth noting that there was one exception, as many people know the calculus in Rome was carried out with Roman numerals, while today, the whole world uses the Arabic, therefore, achievements in arithmetic have not been claimed. Some secrets of Roman scholars remain secret to this day. Roman cement, thanks to which the Romans were able to build strong and durable buildings, Operation Galen. The ancient Roman physician could successfully conduct various operations that are considered difficult even to this day, taking into account all the achievements of modern medicine. Sylph, one of the first medical products in the world. The tincture of plants, which includes the plant of the same name, was used to relieve heat and treat various ailments, but the main value was its contraceptive properties. To create other contraceptive drugs, which are not outright poison provoking a miscarriage, it was possible only with the advent of modern technology. Jurisprudence also originated in the Roman Empire. Although slave trade was actively practiced in ancient Rome, the first codes of human rights and the judicial system appeared on the basis of the interaction of a lawyer, prosecutor and judge, which is a prototype of any modern judicial power. The Roman army was the strongest military structure in all previous history and a long time after. In the tales of the ancient Russian prince Oleg, who made a legendary campaign against Byzantium in the 10th century, it was figured that he had gathered an unprecedented army of people at the time. The strength of the Roman army was in good times, which included only professional soldiers. Mobilization of unprepared recruits could increase this number. Siege weapons. Roman military engineers created many weapons, such as various types of rams, catapults, ballistic weapons, small guns such as the Scorpion, siege towers and much more. Nothing of the kind was used in military affairs until the 12th century, however, even then, the grace of engineering solutions and the effectiveness of designs were far from Roman models. Rome rose from the ashes. Great Roman fire occurred in 64 Anno Domini. At this time, 11 of the 14 quarters of the city burned out. The exact number of victims is unknown, since at the time in Rome more than 1 million inhabitants were registered, excluding slaves, immigrants and other visitors, the number of which could be several times the number of citizens. It is noteworthy that the Emperor Nero, who is considered a tyrant and despot in official sources, opened the doors of his palaces to destitute victims of the fire and organized free meals for residents of the city during the last fire. Antique buildings underground. Many ancient buildings are deep underground, because over 2,000 years the level of the city has risen by many meters. These buildings can be seen in the basements of many Roman houses. They are actively explored by archaeologists. For example, a part of the Palace of Nero was discovered, which was probably bombarded with earth by the ancient Romans. Consequences. The fall of the Roman Empire can be safely considered one of the greatest losses for all of humanity. Most of Roman technology mankind had to reinvent, some of which were invented relatively quickly, but there are few of them, others took centuries, and still others were completely irretrievably lost. However, we can conclude that these failures threw humanity back 5, and possibly 10 centuries into the past. It is difficult to say what the world would look like if the Roman Empire were preserved to this day, or at least for 5-10 centuries longer, but absolutely, it would be a completely different world. Now, the Roman Empire has become for us the most important example, showing how important the preservation of technology and knowledge, as well as the danger of the victory of wildness over reason. It remains for us to be fed up that humanity has learned this lesson and will no longer repeat the mistakes of the past. Like and subscribe. It will be more interesting further.